Hey, Mrs. Howell's gonna give us a insight into why we haven't made any videos lately.
Hey everybody, you're probably wondering where we've been. We took a mini hiatus, not away from the property, but to concentrate on things I had to get done here. Doing a lot of projects, trying to get things caught up. So that's why we didn't film. We were really busy, but we will walk you around and show you our progress. Hope you enjoy it.
We added some windows. Yay! That window was already in here, but we added a second window in Casey's room, looking out that way, let in some more light, get a little more air circulation. And in our room, there it is. We mirrored the same one, so from the outside it's balanced off with a window on each side of the garage. So we changed out that window, let in a lot more light. Haven't painted it and finished it yet, but it's all cased in and ready to go.
Come see the pantry, what we've canned so far just this summer. Okay, so this is what we've canned up this summer, just this summer. We've got applesauce and jams, jellies. I was gifted some squash. I didn't grow it, but I went ahead and canned, what is it, like six jars of squash. I think they came out really pretty. I did the green, and then I also did chunks, which came out real nice as well, so if you wanted to put them in a casserole. We did some carrots, lots of potatoes. These were our potato harvest from our potatoes we grew. So I just basically found a recipe where you can quarter these, put some spices in here, put some water, and just can them up. All of these are potatoes. Then we've got, what is this, blueberry jam. This is my dandelion jam that I made from the dandelions growing in our field. I did this back in the spring, so correction there, some of this stuff is from the spring, but only a few jars of, I got about 6 or 7 jars of that. Blueberry jam. We've got strawberry jam, we have peanut butter that I just jarred up. This is pico de gallo, a lot here. Pasta sauces, more pico de gallo. These are dilly beans, got about 6 jars of these. These beans were gifted to us from a friend who grew a lot of beans. We did not grow green beans this year, but do want to try them next year. Lots of pasta sauce, and our tomato harvest was real abundant. So I also made some tomato soup in there, somewhere's tomato soup. I got more pasta sauce here. We made a stew. Mr. Howell made a stew from some of our meat from the pig that we harvested. So there's that. We've got cherries, and I believe this is blueberry applesauce, more potatoes, and then I had so much, I froze a lot of our tomatoes, but I had so much tomatoes that I went ahead and made ketchup. Look at that, little jars of ketchup. We're not big ketchup fans, but once in a while we'll use some. And we had a bunch of avocados, so we canned up and made guacamole. Lots of guacamole back there. Eggs from the chickens, of course. And then we have peaches. We didn't get a lot from our trees. Did not produce much, but jarred up the peaches. I got 3 jars here of our peaches that we grew from our own trees. Of course, I was an amateur. I didn't do the slices just so, but it'll still work. But that's this half of the pantry. I just wanted to show you. Hopefully next summer we'll have more to add to it and we'll expand it. Right now, that's what we got.
And that leads us to the garden. Which is mostly covered with grass and weeds now, but these are the remnants of our peppers. Did not produce it lots. We had a few peppers that came off of it. Still a couple right down here. Look. There.
What?
Look at that.
I didn't even see these.
2, 3 on that plant.
They're small, but there's something.
Yep.
But I will say, we planted a lot of peppers, and we don't have a greenhouse, so I just did these few plants with grow lights.
To start them out,
Start them out, and we didn't have a lot of space. We did the best we could. But I was surprised. I've got probably like very few peppers, like maybe 6 or 7 from the peppers that we put in. If we had a greenhouse, I think we would have.
Oh, it definitely would have done better, but
our kale just took off. This is the purple kale, and it's really tasty.
Purple curly leaf.
It's real good. It took off. We harvested so much, and then it just keeps growing.
Still got so much more to harvest. There's the green curly leaf. Also did really well. It's not as tall as the purple stuff, but
we've cut a bunch off of them, but they're still coming.
Yeah, we've harvested so much of this stuff. It's crazy. And tomatoes.
That's what's left.
The mistake we learned on this, we did not cage. We did not put anything for them to run up. And so a lot of it ended up on the ground.
But it was fine.
Which, ironically enough, very few of them went to the bugs. Which, you see how much is on the ground here right now.
But I want to show the people something, because this is an interesting little thing. So, the tomatoes that I grew that were not heirloom seeds, they were just regular tomatoes. Different types. Varieties. The bugs did not seem to touch them. The heirloom seeds, this is what happens to the tomatoes, that the ones that I planted that were heirloom. All of them seem to have gotten some type of bug damage. If you look here, look at this one. Oops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like every one that I planted. And I know that we should have caged them. It was just an experiment. Our very
first to keep them off the ground might have helped out.
That would have probably helped.
But these, yeah, see?
It's just every single one is touched by bugs. So this lesson that I've learned this year is I'm not a fan of heirloom seeds. I know everybody's for them, and that you can save seed.
They go to the chickens.
And that, but if you can't even get the fruit to make it, and bugs don't attack it, what's the point? There you go. There's your difference. These are the regular seeds I got from just Walmart or the little general stores around here versus heirloom seeds. There's your difference. Yeah. I will not grow these again. I think they're a waste. I didn't like the taste of them either, and I know there's a lot of people that will say, oh, heirlooms, and you may like them, that's fine. But for me, I mean, look at this. Every single one has been attacked by bugs. I got no good heirloom tomatoes.
Well, and a big thing with that is if you're doing the heirloom seeds and all that kind of stuff, you know, then you're wanting to be organic and not use a bunch of pesticides. But those are the ones that you need to use pesticides on, apparently. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But I do know, if we had them caged and off the ground, they would do better.
For sure, they would have done better.
But that's a lesson learned. But look, this one was off the ground, and look at it.
Is that an heirloom or a regular?
Yeah, no, it's an heirloom. So and it's got a big gap where something got to it.
And look at these Romas.
And it was on the ground.
I want to show the folks this. These Romas that I grew, these are just regular seeds. They came out so nice. I just went ahead and plucked it. There's nothing wrong. There's a little bit of dirt there. There's nothing wrong with them. These make the best pico de gallo because they're not real juicy. Yeah. I did use a lot of beef steaks for the pico de gallo. It still works. It's just it's a lot more juice. But next year I'm going to only grow beef steaks and Romas. I do not want to grow cherries. Or these heirloom I'm not doing all of these other type varieties.
This row was carrots, and you saw that. We did get some of those. We didn't do a lot. This row we did direct sow onion, and that never took.
That never took.
This row had the okra, and I recently pulled those out. They got to the point where they started producing, but there wasn't enough hot days for them to produce enough. Like we would get off 1 or 2 every few days.
The weeds have taken it.
And it wasn't even really enough to. There's Rudy.
There's Rudy.
Wasn't even enough really to do anything with.
But what we plan to do is take the fencing down here, let the chickens just have at it.
Yeah. It's about that point.
Done.
I think we're just going to harvest the kale.
Oh, not even all.
Most of it, but not. There's too much for us. There's a ton. Unless there's somebody out there locally who wants some from us, they can have all of it. But we have had so much kale. We've frozen, we've vacuum sealed and froze a bunch of it, and we still have more coming every day. So
yeah.
But yeah, these are good problems to have, really.
Really good problems.
Speaking of a good problem, we had a mama red hen that went broody. Some people who want egg production think that that might be a bad thing, but for us, it's good. That's why we got Rudy. You hear him in the background making all that noise. And now he's a proud papa. So let's see what this looks like. Video of the baby chickies. So this is Mama Red. We had our OG mama who came with her babies a few, I don't know, 2 months ago.
No, I think
maybe longer than that, but those babies are all grown up, and now Mama Red, she started sitting, and it was kind of funny because we had Mrs. Howell noticed her sitting, and so we followed up for a couple days to watch and see, and we decided, yep, she's broody, she's sitting on those eggs. And there was only 3 under her, so we went ahead and stuffed a bunch under her. I ended up putting 10 total under her. And out of the 10, 3 hatched, and then the other ones I checked, I did the float test, which, if you don't know what that is, basically you put the eggs in water so they float, and you look for movement. If they twitch and move around, then they're fertile eggs. If they don't move at all, then they're not alive anymore, or they never were alive. And so out of those, I found 3 bad ones and I tossed them, and the other 4 went back under her, and a couple days later they hatched, and so now we have 7 baby chickies. That's the babies.
Tomatoes.
And Mrs. Howell has grabbed more tomatoes.
Yes, I'm gonna gift these. I think I'm done with canning tomatoes this season.
We got tomatoes coming out of our eyeballs. And that brings us back to the house. Oh, well, a couple things right here. We got the truck and the car. So, yay, new truck. Got rid of the green one. That's a whole story in itself. And Mrs. Howell has her vehicle that we got, and there's a flagpole from a tree I cut down, a cedar, buried that in the ground. But yeah, yay, a new car. Yep, we like it.
Yeah.
And then with the house, the garage doors, you can see, I don't know, those weren't done on the last video. And that flagpole got put up with the light up on the wall there. So that's nice to have the garage door closed up. Halloween spirit there with Jack.
It's a little cattywampus, the ground here. So it's doing this. I noticed I moved.
That's all right, we like it.
But it's no wobble. It's just the ground is a little.
Yeah, we want that so it runs away, the water runs off. We did this, closed up this area, and moved all this wood under here, so now it will stay dry all through, so we can use it during the winter time. So this is where the wood was stacked. We spent a while my mom was here last week. We were still working, but we moved. You can see clearly the footprint here where that wood was stacked. We threw down some grass seed. Hopefully that'll kind of fill in there, and next spring we'll have grass all through this. But the wood that didn't fit underneath the cover went in there. And then back on this side, we had so much junk built up over the last year with old wood bits and pieces. We went through here and cleared this all out. Yay!
It's leftovers from the home build. So
yeah,
you can see where it was all sitting.
And we still love Al, crazy old cat.
It's Al Pacino.
He hangs out and does what he wants to do. He comes and goes as he pleases.
He's a stray, but we
don't let him in the house very often,
no,
but he loves the garage.
He doesn't clean himself like the normal cats do.
No, he's not dirty, but he's an outdoor cat, so he's not. He's not as clean as an indoor cat would be because he goes through the woods and stuff. He's a wild beast. Well, I guess that's it. Now you see what we've been up to, and we will try, no promises, to keep you guys updated on progress as we keep going, but there's still lots of work to do, and we're going to keep on doing it. Thanks for stopping by.